Hello everyone, this is Kaitlyn aka Angry Fat Girl, here today with a review of Bioshock Infinite. Now, I'm going to try to make this review as spoiler free as humanly possible. There's some things that I want to touch on that may be considered spoilers. If you fear all spoilers and just prefer to try the game for yourself, see for yourself, please do not listen to the rest of this video. Now, if you'd like to hear a review, well, continue if you want. Let's start out saying that I have played number 1, number 2, and now, I guess this could be considered number 3. Number 1, in my opinion, being the best. But I would definitely say that this game, well, you'll see. Bioshock Infinite rips you straight from the murky waters of Rapture and shoots you up in the goddamn sky. I was a little skeptical on how good this game could be. The graphics are simply the best of all the Bioshock games, hands down. Now, that being said, as far as the design on actual people, like NPCs and not important people, not main characters, there's a lot left to be desired. I remember at one part there was a child playing guitar, and I looked at his hands, and they weren't really defined. They weren't formed well. It kind of was reminiscent of original Xbox graphics. So, the graphics are actually pretty amazing, but there's some parts where it's very weak. But like the atmosphere and the city itself, very wonderful graphics. People, I'd say it's a little on the weak side when you compare it to games like Mass Effect or hell, even Skyrim. The level design, though, is astonishing. First area, I remember my breath being taken away just by the water in the stream. The first area of Columbia, what I mean, not the first area. Well, at the beginning. I mean the first area when you first enter Columbia. The church, spoiler, is such an astounding area. It's so beautiful. I feel like every single area of the game, it was carefully thought out and carefully laid out. From the ground that you walk on, to the skies, to everything. Beautiful, wonderful, excellent. Another thing I'd like to talk about, moving on, is the combat. Now, this game really took new innovative combat and ran with it. The flawless integration of Elizabeth into combat is brilliant. She becomes so useful that when she's not around, you miss the girl. She can, when you're in combat, if you're running out of ammo, she will toss you some ammo. If you're running out of health, she will toss you some health. If you're running out of salts to fuel your powers, she will toss them to you. She can open new tears and different realities to aid you in combat, and it's simply wonderful. I can't think of a game truly like that has introduced a companion that can be so useful on that many levels. The only way that she could have been better is if she fought herself. The combat really feels satisfying as far as weapons go. Now, I think the original Bioshock had a little more of I think, at times, a melee feel. Pipes and the wrenches and such. This game, it's got a pretty good melee, but I think as far as the melee system goes, it's a last resort. When you have guns, you're going to use your guns. It had a wide variety of guns. A lot of people bitched and complained that the first two Bioshocks did not have snipers. Well, folks, let me tell you, this Bioshock, it's got snipers. It's got shotguns. It's got RPGs. It's got all sorts of crazy shit in this game. Just weapon variety. Off the hizzle. Now, the upgrade of weapons, it was wow. I'm going to talk more about that more in depth. I do want to say a little bit of the flaws of the combat. Now, for a lot of people, this is the meat of Bioshock. your plasmids, or in this case, your vigors. There was something lacking with the vigors. I didn't feel as satisfied when I used them. With the original game, it was so amazing to use them, to light a splicer on fire, watch him scream, yelling obscenities, running down the hall, or maybe you're melting that ice that's been stuck on a door. Maybe you're freezing splicers. It's just, the list goes on, and it's so goddamn incredible. It's so damn fun. This game, I feel like they took away some of the originals. I mean, the ice plasmid / vigor does not make an appearance in this game at all. You are limited to 8 vigors. Now, I'm not sure if that's more or less than the first Bioshocks, but it sure as hell made me feel like it was less. I felt like I was getting less out of that department, and that disappointed me. Now, it introduced some cool vigors, like the crow vigor. That was pretty fun. That was pretty fun to fly, to have these crows fly out of your hand and just eat the face off of your enemy. That was pretty cool. That was pretty neat. But then there were some that were weak. Like, I felt like the bucking bronco was just a poor man's goddamn telekinesis. I just felt like it was lacking, and I guess the shock plasmid was still good. So that's really the only area that I was severely disappointed in. It was that. And for a lot of people, that'll do it, because a lot of people loved Bioshock for their use of plasmids. It really kind of brought this uniqueness to games, a little breath of fresh air, if you will. Of course, there's games with powers, but it's never quite like plasmids. The next area that I'd like to talk about is the gameplay, the buying, the looting, the upgrading. It was all satisfying to me. Something about working so hard to garner money, then using it to make my gun more powerful, it was quintessentially badass. Let me tell you what I did, folks. I got myself a shotgun and a sniper, and I upgraded the shit out of it. When anybody came within goddamn 5 to 10 feet with me, I could blow their goddamn head off with a shotgun. If I was hiding, if I was sneaking around, and there was somebody 100 feet away from me further, blow their head off with a sniper. Excellent. Excellent. Love the upgrading system of guns. Just awesome. But the real winner, folks, is the story. The story could be compelling, uplifting, heartbreaking, anger-inducing, thrilling, and chilling. It could be all of that at once. Just like in the game Skylines, which I really did enjoy the Skylines. They were just a really awesome addition. It was so fun to be just trolls. I don't even have a word for the shit. How fun it was for me. I don't know. And every time I had to jump a little further to attach myself to another line. I don't know about you, but my heart stopped. I was like, shit, I'm gonna fall the fuck off of this. But no, Booker's a badass. He kept on the line. Oh yeah. Just like the Skylines, there are so many goddamn good twists and turns. I'm such a sucker for plot twists. I love plot twists. I love being led somewhere and I'm having no idea. I'm in the dark, and then bam! Just complete change. I couldn't believe it. There's so many moments that were so great. Just the story is so rich, and it's just a wonderful narrative. And I love the infusion of early American history and the slavery aspect of it. Now, I do feel like the slavery aspect was not completely touched on. Forgive my cat meowing. He's having a breakdown. But still, it was interesting to see it in there. There is religion and politics in this game. Now, if you just want to play a first-person shooter that's fun, you are not going to like the storyline of Bioshock Infinite, because this storyline is really meaty. There's so many intricacies to it that sometimes you don't fully grasp it. There's so many things to think about and discover and learn about this story that, man, sometimes you just don't know what the fuck is going on with these people. I want to say the characters. The main characters, awesome for me. I think my favorite were the Latisse. Excuse me, I need to pronounce this right. I need to pronounce these motherfuckers right because these are my home dogs, the Latisse siblings. They were my favorite. I think Jennifer Hale just blew this role out of the water. It'll be a treat for people who have played Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic because her role sounds a little bit like Bastila. Seriously, listen to it. It sounds like it. Maybe it's just me. That brings me to another point. The voice acting is superb. With stars on here like Jennifer Hale from Knights of the Old Republic and Mass Effect and various other things. I mean, Jennifer Hale is a goddess of voice acting. And then you've got Kimberly Brooks, who plays Ashley Williams for the Mass Effect series. I didn't even need to look any of those two up because I knew right away those were them. Those were my heroes. I was so happy. The final thing that I really want to touch on is the character Elizabeth. You know she's a feature on it. You see her in screenshots. You see her in the trailer. You know she's going to be important. She ends up being just so much more than important. She becomes... I feel like she becomes a part of me. All I wanted was to bring that poor girl to Paris. I just wanted her to be free. I wanted her to be happy. You really start to love her. And I think they did a wonderful job on her. And I think they did a really cool job on Booker, too. I mean, you don't hear much from Booker. When you hear it from Booker, he's a bit of a cynicist. You know, hey, he's been there, done that, seen shit. Understandable. I liked Booker. I can say that if you miss Rapture, it will definitely make a cameo in this. No mistake about it. It will make a cameo. So, I realized this has been running pretty long. I'm going to end it right now. I can say with all confidence that Bioshock Infinite is definite Game of the Year potential. I haven't seen it. What the hell is it? It's only freaking April. It's only April. But you know what? Of course, there's a lot of good games coming, but definitely this is a top contestant. Bioshock comes back with a punch. I give this game 9 out of 10. I don't ever give games this high of rating, and I certainly, it's very rare if I give a game a 10. If they would have wrapped up the things I talked about, like the vigors and just some of the graphic issues, then I would have had no problem giving this game a 10. This is definitely a rent for anybody who's played Bioshock, and the best part about this is the story. It does kind of correspond, but then it doesn't. Anybody who hasn't played any of the Bioshocks may play this comfortably, because you will understand it all, because there's very few references to the previous games, because this takes place before the previous games, and possibly in an alternate universe. So I'm going to wrap this up. And I'm going to say this game was probably one of the best games that I've played all year so far and probably will play all year. Thank you for listening. Just do yourself a favor and at least rent this